In this video, we're going to continue topic 3.1. We're going to talk about the chain rule some more, and we were working on a graphical stem. So I'm going to start by looking for my inside function, and since this is an e to the x, I'm going to use the exponent as my inside function. So u is equal to f of x. So u prime is equal to f prime of x. I'm going to rewrite my L of x function, and that's going to be e to the u. And now I'm going to take the derivative of it, which means that I know I take the derivative of the outside function, which is just going to be e to the u. And then I multiply that by the derivative of the inside function, which is f prime of x. Now I'm going to substitute back in my u value, which was f of x. And then we're multiplying by the f prime of x. It says it wants us to evaluate at 3. So I'm going to go L prime of 3 equals e to the f of 3, f prime of 3. So L prime of 3 equals. So I've got e. I'm going to go back to my graph, and I'm going to find the y value at 3. So the y value at 3 happens to be 1. And then I need to find f prime of 3, meaning I need the slope at 3. So the slope at 3 looks like it's down 1 over 1, or just negative 1. So when I multiply this out, I get negative e. I apologize for the noise in the background. All right, the u in example 25 is the g of x. So u equals g of x, which means that u prime equals g prime of x. And then my new b of x is going to be sine of u. I'm going to take the derivative of it. So I take the derivative of the outside function, which is the cosine of u. And I multiply that by the derivative of the inside function, which is g prime of x. Now we're going to substitute back in the u. So cosine of g of x. And then I'm going to multiply that by g prime of x. And now we're going to plug in a 2. So b prime of 2 equals cosine of g of 2, and then times g prime of 2. All right, let's see what we can find in our on our graph. So g of 2 in the graph, g of 2 happens to be negative 1. And then g prime of 2, so the slope at 2 looks like we are going down 2 and over 1. So it looks like it's negative 2. I need to figure out the cosine of negative 1, which I can't really do because it's not it's not on the unit circle. So we're just going to leave this as negative 2 cosine negative 1. All right, we're going to do one more in this video. We're going to do this example 26. I'm going to write my work off to the side here. So my u value is going to be cosine of x, which means that u prime is negative sine x. I'm going to rewrite my q of x function as f of u. I'm going to take its derivative, which would be f prime of u, and then I'm going to multiply that by the derivative of the inside function, which is negative sine x. I'm going to go back and I'm going to replace my u with cosine x, and we're going to multiply still by that inside function's derivative. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and plug in a 0. So q prime of 0 equals f prime of cosine of 0 times negative sine of 0. Well, in this case, we actually know what those values are, because I can use my unit circle. So the 0 radians is, the cosine value is 1. So we get f prime of 1. And then this negative sine of 0 is just going to be 0. So it really doesn't matter what f prime of 1 is, it's actually times 0, so we know our final answer is going to be 0.